Hey guys, my name is Drew and welcome back to the Hooch Report. Today I'll be reviewing another gin. However, it's no longer Japanese gins. I'm very excited to actually say I'm going to be reviewing a Mexican gin, and I will also have another Mexican gin to try in the next episode. But being from California and having so much cultural cross pollination from Mexico and the kind of United States, I've always really enjoyed like the Mexican tequilas and the light beers, but there really wasn't any gin on the market that I'd really seen. These are the first, well, this is the first, and then the other gin I'll be reviewing is the second that I've really seen in the stores in the United States. I got both of these from Total Wine, and I'm really excited to announce I will be reviewing the Gracias, Dios gin, which is a gin from Oaxaca. And I guess what happened was it started as a pet project for university students. So this started in the University of Oaxaca, and from there it's kind of grown into a business. Now it is a fairly expensive gin, which I kind of understand it being kind of like a micro distillery. So it'll run you about $60, but I'm very excited to try it and kind of let you know what kind of Mexican kind of terroir. I hope I said terroir right. But you know, the taste of the earth really imparts on this gin. So with that, let's get into it. All right. So what got me really excited about this gin when I first heard about it, and I really heard about it a year ago, but it took me a while to actually track it down and actually get this going, is I was having a shower thought, essentially, that, you know, different gins can have different base spirit bodies, and base spirit meaning a different kind of base, as in like grain, potato, sugarcane, you know, what have you, that is then distilled and makes the spirit itself, and that's before the botanicals are included. But I hadn't heard of anything using an agave-based spirit. Now, agave-based spirits, there's two types. There's tequila, which is basically blue agave that's grown in Guadalajara, and it's basically kind of a copyrighted, patented name, just like France has certain names, like Champagne is only from the Champagne region of France. So tequila is only from the Guadalajara, Jalisco area of Mexico. That said, everything else is essentially a mezcal. Even if it uses the same blue agave, it just has to be called mezcal. Just like how you got cognac is from France, and anything similar to it made in the States is called brandy. Now mezcal comes in kind of two different I think it comes in one variety that I've really had, and it's mostly like a more smoky tequila, and it's from the process that they make it. I'm sure there's non-smoky mezcals. However, I've only had the smoky kind. But this gin is made with an agave base. So they say, you know, it has a mezcal base. I believe they use a different type of agave than the standard blue agave. And if you know anything about the agave plant, there's probably a few hundred different species. They all have similar kind of growth habits, but just like different fruits have different kind of nuance to them, I expect that this mezcal base probably has a little bit different flavor than your standard tequila. So to me, I'm very happy that someone had the idea of taking a very New World plant, because the agave is from like the New World, very much so a part of Mexican history, and then taking botanicals from Mexico and creating a gin with it. Now this one, it says there's 32 botanicals in here, and kind of their gist or the reasoning behind 32 There's just 32 states in the country of Mexico. Generally, I'm probably a less is more fan when it comes to heaping in a bunch of different botanicals, just because sometimes it can wash out the flavor it'll wash out the flavor of a specific botanical that maybe I was interested in trying. However, if done right, it could actually have a really kind of interesting taste. So, with that, let's get this bottle open. Okay, I know I said we were going to get into opening the bottle and trying it, but first I kind of want to talk about the bottle itself and the presentation it puts forward. Overall, I think it's a really nice and well put together bottle. It has some kind of nice, very Mexican stylistic choices on the front of the bottle. It has a logo above the Gracias, Dios text, which it looks like a praying altar. And in the back is like probably the desert landscape of Oaxaca. And, it just has a nice kind of, very authentic looking art style. I mean, it's not minimal, obviously. It's a little bit more whimsical, but I do like that because I think it fits contextually. They have like some sort of bronze and embossing. I think that's the word to put in there. So it's on the label. It adds a nice kind of shine and color nuance to it. I really don't know what it says. I mean, it just says Grand Premium. It is alcohol 45% by volume. But, just a nice kind of aside. The back, it really kind of just gives a story about, it's an agave gin using 32 different botanicals and how there's 32 states in the country of Mexico. But pretty minimal. It has the signature of the distiller, which is always kind of, neat. They even have kind of a signature of the company brand on the bottle. So it says Gracias a Dios on the back. And then for whatever reason, they have this, and I'll have photos, but they have this interesting cap here that it looks like an angel who's blindfolded on the top of the bottle. It doesn't really make sense to me. I don't understand the nuance or context. Maybe one of you guys understands better. But, it's a cool bottle. It even says Hecho in Mexico. And it has the lot origins on the bottom. But overall, it's a cool bottle. But I think I like the cap the most. Because it has that quirky nuance to it. It's just cool. That's what caught my eye. All right, so let's see if I can get this wrapper off the top. Or maybe it's gonna kick my butt. I don't see any sort of easy pull tab. You might just have to bear with me, or I'm gonna edit this out. Oh, now I got it. I don't know, it's looking like a fool. All right, so here goes the Gracias a Dios. All right, so I lied. There isn't actually real cork in there. It's a plastic cork, but let's see what I get off the nose. You can definitely smell the mezcal base. It has that kind of tequila nose. I don't get a lot of the smokiness that I would necessarily get off of mezcal. So probably, however they made it, they probably toned down the smoke, at least to make it more palatable for a gin. But it's certainly, there is a hint of smoke at the back, but I definitely get more of just a tequila body. So let it open up a little bit, swish it around. Still a very tequila forward nose. I think maybe I get a little bit of the juniper, but I'm not getting any sort of like overpowering botanicals that would overshadow kind of that tequila smell. So if you like tequila, this may be the gin for you. Let's take a sip. It's pretty nice, actually. So you definitely do get, kind of does have that body like I'm sipping a tequila. But then it does have the smokiness that hits at the back of my tongue. But in the middle, in between of my palate, that's where I get kind of sweetness of the botanicals. I wish they would tell me exactly what 32 they put in here. There's another gin they make which is just 8, and I think that one's probably going to be a lot easier to get the nuance on it. But there is a certain amount of, I don't know, botanical essence in there. Yeah, I definitely get the lavender. I'm just sorry, not the juniper. But then, maybe some anise and some of the kind of traditional gin flavors. If I was like drinking like a regular London Dry, it's pretty nice. I think sipping it by itself, it's definitely doable. However, I really want to actually, I feel like this would be great in some sort of spicy margarita as like the filler or the alcohol. It just has that kind of very mezcal experience. I'd say it's more a mezcal than necessarily like a overtly gin, but maybe that kind of is the point. It's just kind of adding a twist to your general, or a twist to the kind of mezcal experience, especially as it starts growing as an industry. But I definitely would like that mixed into like a margarita. However, for the sake of this video, I'm going to mix it with elderflower tonic and then kind of see how it tastes. If it's no good, then maybe I'll try this later in a jalapeno margarita. All right, so now I'm not quite sure if there's any rhyme or reason why I got the elderflower tonic. I think I just saw it in the store and wanted to try it. And I thought, if it is kind of a more, a mezcal base, it may go good with kind of an elderflower, kind of very floral smelling tonic. That said, let's try it out. It may be the wrong tonic for this, I'll let you know. But one note we try. Just off the nose, the first thing is I think the elderflower and the carbonation pushes the kind of mezcal agave base to the front, but it combines really well. I think they both kind of have this kind of sharpness on the nose by themselves. So together, it just kind of makes it a little bit sweeter aroma, but I feel like they do complement. Maybe just a little bit of smoke on it, but not too much, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. pretty good. They still put quinine in the tonic, so I get that bitterness, but the elderflower just kind of hits your tongue, and that smoke, and it kind of rolls down your palate. It just creates a pretty easy drinking experience. I don't really get a whole lot of botanicals on this gin. Uh, I think for what it is, as a kind of really interesting experiment, it is a good mezcal, and I think again flavoring it with kind of like peppers and some sort of peppers and lime and some sort of like margarita kind of mix. I think it would really excel at that. Probably not so much as a traditional kind of tonic thing or tonic drink. It's not bad. However, I think for $60, I would have really liked more of the botanicals to shine through, especially with 32 different botanicals. But knowing that they actually have another gin, which is just 8, I'd be really curious to try that and see if, with just the 8 botanicals, if they're really able to push those through and create a more authentic gin experience. But for being able to try something unique like this and getting an idea of what an agave base could do with kind of kind of making it into a gin. I'm curious to see how it evolves over time and what kind of market comes from this. And we'll see. Maybe it'll be in the future more agave-based spirits, agave-based gins that can really explode onto the scene and add a really nice niche in the market. That said, I'm going to finish this, and until next time, stay sipping.